Hi, my name is Marcy Means, and on March 8th I came and spoke with the OBTA and addressed some of the issues of emergency preparedness in the travel industry and also some of the issues revolving around duty of care. When is the facility responsible for the traveler, and when is the traveler then responsible for themselves? We talked about 5 major things, and I want to review those things today for those of you who were not at the meeting so that we can all be caught up to speed. One of the most important things that the OBTA needs to be aware of is that people are the most vulnerable in an emergency or a disaster when they're away from home. So that means your industry has your customers most vulnerable at all times when they're traveling, they're in their car, or traveling by air. And so the first major point that we talked about was that emergencies and disasters are the great human equalizer. There's no one that is immune to not being able to be prepared. We all need the same things after an emergency, and so it's really critical that you have for your staff and also even for your customers at some point have some kind of training on personal emergency preparedness, like our staff as first responders training, where we go line upon line and talk to them about personal preparedness and how they need to personally respond in an emergency. The second thing that we talked about was that there's all kinds of contingency plans, there's all kinds of things to think about in an emergency, but one of the things that's most critical that's always overlooked is the fact that people have emotional and mental stress during an emergency, and that dealing with and helping people calm down, remain focused and engaged in what's happening will make everyone safe. The third thing that we talked about was family reunification. There is absolutely nothing that creates more stress, fatigue, worry, panic, and chaos than when family members cannot find each other, particularly when parents are separated from their children. So having a family reunification plan, again having training on how you fill that out, how you would put together a family reunification plan is critical. But you can go for free on ready.gov and have all of your staff, employees fill the family reunification program out, and then it's done, complete, and ready to go. So the fourth thing that we talked about is the ability to survive, to thrive away from home, to thrive where you are is the most critical thing. And so we talked about a variety of different ways that you can thrive away from home and be safe and secure without the comforts and amenities of your home. And the first thing that we brought to your attention was the fact that oftentimes you see that emergency kits are bright red, they're labeled emergency kit, get supplies here. But one of the things that we want to bring to your attention is the importance of having something that is black, navy blue, that is not going to draw attention. You do not want, in a big disaster situation, you do not want people knowing that you have supplies, because we feel that it puts an unnecessary target on your back. And so that's so critical to get emergency supplies, but to make sure that they are neutral, plain colors that are not going to draw attention. The other thing that we talked about was, if you're going to do something, have it last for a long time. And in the travel industry, the biggest issue is temperature, how long is it going to last, and shelf life. Well, what we recommend is to have the emergency drinking waters that last for 5 years. So 2 of these waters together are about 9 ounces, and they last in your car, your travel bag, wherever for 5 years. And then coupled with that is the Daytrex food that again lasts for 5 years and are all individual wafers. In fact, I want to show you one of how easy it is to open and how convenient it is to have these. You just take it, open it up, and inside are all individual cookies, totally organized, all the calorie counts, everything ready for you. So When you get emergency supplies, make sure that they have a 5-year shelf life at least and can be stored in any temperature. One of the other major issues that when you're traveling is having the ability to have fresh water wherever you're at. And so whether you're traveling in the United States, you're traveling outside of the United States, having fresh water is absolutely critical when you're traveling. And so what we recommend are these water filters that you can go to any freshwater system, any pond, any lake, any whatever, and you can dip your water in here, filter it out, and get fresh drinking water. So this one here, the 30 ounce, is best shared amongst a group because it's a pop top, and you can dump it over or pour it over and share it amongst a group. And the 28 ounce is better for an individual because it's just an individual straw that you drink the water out. But I've got some gross water here that I want to show you and show you how it filters out. So just take your gross, dirty pond water, pour it in, just twist the filter on, squeeze, and fresh water comes out. And again, this system can go into any lake, pond, stream, any water source that you can find and get fresh drinking water. And again, this one here is just the same filter, only it's meant more for an individual. So those are the differences between the two water filters. And the last point of that is that the question came up is, well, where do we go to get this stuff and how do we get it? Because you're not prepared unless you have supplies. That's the bottom line. And so starting earlier this week, we are going to be having a pre-order liquidation sale on all of our kits, filters, and supplies. And so that kind of information will be coming to your group so that your employees and staff and other customers can take advantage of that opportunity. So again, in terms of duty of care, the most important thing is to get your staff, give them an opportunity to have the staff as first responders training. The other thing that we didn't touch on when we were at the at OBTA on March 8th is we didn't talk about the elements of cooking in the dark, which is how do you prepare your family at home while you're away. And cooking in the dark is a really fun class and segment that we teach that really empowers families to be able to stay home, stay where they're at, and be safe so that you can go to work and help maintain the operations of the company. Finally, the most important thing that we probably talked about, or one of the most popular things, is sanitation. And I'm not going to go on and on or demonstrate the sanitation techniques that I did the other day at the class, but I do want to reiterate how important it is that facilities have sanitation for their staff, for the guests, for a variety of different reasons. One is to avoid personal privacy violations. It is embarrassing, it is a violation to need to go to the bathroom and not have a private place and area to do that in a dignified manner. The other thing is that the average person goes to the bathroom about 6 times a day, and so sanitation during a disaster and emergency situation is an ongoing problem. And that ongoing problem could then lead to the other thing is that your facility could become a hazardous waste site because people will have gone to the bathroom over and over and over again on your facility. So it is really important in terms of duty of care of being able to provide sanitation for your staff and guests, regardless of what kind of company or agency that you run. So those are the things that we talked about. I thoroughly enjoyed my opportunity to work with the OBTA and look forward to working with all of you soon.